How do you kind of explain agentic AI to banking executives in a way that cuts through hype, right? How are you having that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, at a simple way, when we talk about agentic AI, I mentioned earlier, we're talking about agents that can now not just have a conversation like that started with ChatGPT,
Hmm.
we started now with Copilot and others, but be able to reason over the data. So this idea of reasoning models, which came about 18 months ago, this is really a step change for generative AI. Now they can do PhD level math, they can do PhD level analytics. It used to take 10 minutes or 20 minutes for some of these models to run. Now it takes just mere seconds. The speed it changed. So this idea of super smart capabilities within these agents is important. And so then if you think about designing agents that are highly skilled on a very specific task. So for example, maybe there's an agent that understands everything within a bank's policy around compliance and internal guardrails that need to be done. That's one agent. You could have another agent that is highly specialized in regional regulatory requirements. And maybe there's one for each region, if the bank's multinational, for example, that it understands all of those policies. And so you can imagine a world where you have an orchestrator agent who's asking questions to support a customer in the onboarding scenario we talked about, of the agent that understands the bank internal policies, of another agent that understands a certain jurisdiction's regulatory policies, and another agent that understands another jurisdiction's regulatory policies. So effectively, you've got orchestrator and three agents underneath, all talking to each other. Effectively, there's an outcome. They're all making recommendations and decisions towards an outcome, i.e., maybe it's an onboarding and outcome. But they're all having a conversation together and they're automating that discussion. And that becomes an end-to-end workflow. And so when we talk about agentic, really what we're talking now is about taking these individual, really smart reasoning agents, bringing them together, orchestrating them across so they can solve an outcome. And that outcome is really, really the differentiator here when we think about agentic, right? And it's different. A lot of executives have understood things like robotic process automation or RPA for many, many years. And they kind of go, wait a second, I can just RPA that and we can make it happen. But traditional RPA, it's very rule-based. It breaks depending on if you're looking at certain things on a screen. Agentic AI doesn't have those limitations. It can do everything from visual, it can understand things, again, reason over things, and be able to piece things together just like humans would. And that's the step change. And so when we think about layering that across compliance, across anything to do with financial crime, it really opens the boundaries of where we can go with it.